All right. Hey guys, welcome to the third day of the webinar training blitz. We are going into the triple threat of business domination. And today is the third P, which is product creation. And I didn't want to talk the entire time about product creation, so I'm throwing in some sales training and closing options for you to be able to sell those products that you're actually creating. So I've got a really interesting training. I really like this one. It's wrapping up this blitz very, very nicely. So with no further ado, we are going to get right into it because we have a lot of information to go over. So let's jump into number 3, which is product creation. All right, so product ideas, oh my goodness, there are plenty. So many people have an idea or an invention or something in their mind that they'd like to create. Right now, you might have an idea for something that you would like to create, or maybe you think that there's something out there that would be good for the marketplace. However, you have no idea how it would get created. You just like the idea, right? But the reality is only over 90% of those ideas that people have, they don't ever make it into actual products. Or if they even do, they certainly don't get the money that they were hoping for with this grandiose big idea. All right? And so going into product creation, you kind of need to know that the odds are stacked against you. That's not to keep you from doing it, but to keep you from, or to keep you wanting realistic expectations, having realistic expectations, and going about it the best way possible so that you aren't losing a lot of time and money, because there's certainly people that have spent so much time and energy building a business or an idea or a product, and it just doesn't go the way that they were hoping for. So what my goal to do right now is to really help you figure out some strategies and share with you that there is a better way. And that's the second one right here. To be counterintuitive on your product. Almost do what you think is not the best way to do this, okay? I want to explain to you the fastest, easiest, most best way to market a product that hopefully you've heard before. I mean, it's not completely brand new, but it's definitely something that people don't want to do because it is counterintuitive, okay? And what that is prove your concept first. This great idea that you have, this strategy that needs to be taught, this invention that you want to create, prove the concept first and then go out and create your product. All right? Don't waste your time, energy, and money creating this massive marketing road that brings them up to this beautiful mansion before you've ever figured out if anyone really actually wants to go there. All right, that's definitely a metaphor for what really happens. And I'm even speaking from experience here. I spent so much time and effort building out a very big, elaborate marketing campaign. And my mentor at the time, who was Mark Hoverson, he actually said this to me, and I will remember exactly to the day because I don't want to do this mistake again. It comes into the back of my head. But he says, you have built this amazing, wonderful yellow brick road all the way to Alaska, but you didn't ask if anybody ever wanted to go. And the reality was nobody really did want to go. And so I had spent all this time and energy personally, I'm speaking from experience, that it's not the best way to go. Now, I've even tried to coach people out of finishing their product first, and it always comes with resistance. Of course, you don't want to sell something that's not finished. You want the completed product, you want the amazingness, and then wrap it up with a pretty bow and throw it out there, right? The reality is this is a little bit of a limiting mindset, and I want to share with you that right now. And obviously, you can't sell something without the intention of delivering on it. I mean, that's fraud, right? Of course, you're going to deliver what you're going to sell, but you want to go in at it in a smarter mentality way, all right? Think about your product that you're creating. To go out and have the absolute final version, which is the best one that's in your head, and start with that is not the way to go. Products should start small and then grow big, not the opposite. Now, I want to preface this by saying product creation, really, if you're listening to this right now, I'm speaking to entrepreneurs, small business owners that are wanting to build their own business using the internet to be able to do it. and not the type that wants to go out there and go to venture capitalists and raise tons of money and get millions of dollars to be able to go out there and create their product and campaign. We're going the other way. We're going with the fact that you are probably selling a product or you have a business idea, you want to get it off the ground, you want to be your own boss, and eventually you're going to get there, all right? And this is the best way to do that. Figure out what your product is, start small, and then scale it, all right? Here's why. Like I said, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, money, and energy, and I want to explain to you why this is. Because your initial buyers, the people that are going to buy this first version of whatever it is, we talked a little bit about coming up with ideas of what you would want to put out there into the marketplace. Well, the best way to figure that out is to get some feedback from your initial buyers. And using their feedback, you can make this product better as you go along. And this way, they're going to tell you way more than you would ever be able to guess on your own. And they'll be able to tell it, and you'll be able to figure it out a lot faster. And the best thing about this, honestly, is that you're not guessing. Like, okay, I think they would like to do this, or I think it would be better if I did it this way. You're getting legit feedback from the people that actually bought and paid money for what you're offering. And going out there and doing surveys and focus groups, sure, that's always a good thing to do in market research. But the reality is people aren't paying with their opinions, they're paying with their wallet. So once you can get the feedback from the people that actually paid, that is worth way, way more than people that would just give you an idea of what they might or might not do, all right? So once you have this initial group of buyers that are getting this smaller version of your product, what it allows you to do is start with a smaller price point. Your clients that you have right now, your warm market, the ones that just absolutely love who you are and what you do, you can go to them and say, look, I'm about to do X, Y, and Z. I really like this product. Would you find that interesting? Like, oh my gosh, yes. Remember the launch formula? Something's coming. And you go to your warm market, your best clients first, and you let them in. There is scarcity there because you're only going to let a few in. You're going to stop it for that date, and you're going to play around with it for a while so that you can build this best product, this better version product coming out of what you're doing right now. The first time you throw it out there, it should be viewed as a learning experience, because the reality is then you can make the product better and you can even release it at a higher price point and make more money. All right, so your best clients, they're getting a good deal because you're going out there saying, look, I'm going to make this product. Eventually it's going to be $500, but right now I'm just going to start it off for $200 because, it's going to be a work in progress. You guys get to see a little bit more. You can spin that so well so that people would absolutely love to be a part of it. They're going to get a price deal on one, absolutely. They get to have some input and get exactly the feedback that they want. Oh, who wouldn't want that, right? So you can craft it in a very great way and let them know ahead of time, like, look, this isn't the finished deal. Like, you want this content? And I'm kind of speaking more now towards informational products versus a physical product, but it works very much the same way. Now, here's what you get to do during this initial product sales where you go out there and you have this, initial version. What you get to do now that you have this first group of buyers come through, and you can even call them a beta group. I've certainly done that in a few of the things that I've created. So you guys are the beta group, and they know it going in. All right, people really like that. All right, so you can get testimonials. Maybe that's the reason why you've lowered the price. When they buy, it's in exchange for a testimonial at the end. All right, so they know it's coming, and then you don't feel awkward asking for it. And then when you go and package it back up, you've got some amazing social proof to go along with it, right? What this also does is as you're creating this product, you're getting this feedback back, you're really starting to see how it's going to, fit better, get some really good ideas. It's also giving you some time to package it up, pay some money to get some nice branding, to have a logo for it, so the sales that you made on that first round of people can now pay for you to make this a lot better looking, more professional looking, okay? And then you can put together your big final version, the one that was in your head from to begin with, right? You can raise your price because now you have professional branding, you've got some nice websites, you've got social proof with a bunch of testimonials all attached to it. And now you have an amazing product that you have created and you're ready to use the launch formula to go out and launch again, okay? Let the market decide how this product is going to go and then act accordingly. Does that make sense, what I'm sharing with you? It's a little bit like I said, counterintuitive. You think like you should finish the entire thing and have it ready to go, and then they buy it, and you kind of would go from there. But can you see how this model, turning it around, really makes it a lot easier for you? They get to be in on the action with realistic expectations, save a little bit of money, be part of the process. You package it up together and make a much better product, okay? So let's think about this for a second, because before I go into that, I wanted to say one more thing on here, all right? Sometimes people have aversions to selling a product that's not finished. And so what I want to speak to right now, I don't have a slide about this, but I want to go into it because I know in the back of some people's mind they can have this objection, as I hear it a lot with our clients, is the fact that how can I sell something when it's not completed? Well, one of the, and I'm really going to speak here a little bit more towards informational marketing, coaching, things like that. A lot of the times there's modules, or even just create it into modules. Like you have this idea, this training that you want to bring people through. Well, you break it up. So much information can't be done at one time anyway. So you do need to break it up. People have time, they have life limitations where they can only go through so much at one time. Break it up into 4, 5, 6 modules, and you can drip them out and say one will come out every single week. All right, I really want you to see how this can actually come out and play, that this is something that you can do. So the reality is, as you're selling this first part, you only need to have maybe one module created, and you can do that on a live webinar, and people buy it. They go there and they listen, the people that are part of it, and then they have to take action on it. And then next week, number 2 is going to come out. The week after that, number 3 is going to come out. The week after that, or maybe 2 a week, however you want to figure it out. But you're building it as they're going through it, and you're getting your feedback as you're going through it. So maybe you had your training way too long. Maybe you did a training and it was 70 minutes and it was so great, but it was too much for people, and they needed it to be smaller and condensed into different versions. Well, what if you had done your entire 6 modules all in big 70-minute chunks? That might be a downside for people to want to go through it. So maybe you've learned halfway through that you need to chop it up into smaller things and be able to put it out and drip feed it different ways. So just getting that feedback is really important, but that's also why you don't have to have the entire thing done before you go out and sell it. You have time to sell it and then people going through it as you're creating it, okay? Now, let's just get a little bit into product ideas. All right, so I was really talking about how you can go out there and be able to create a product pretty easily. What if you have no idea about what this product is? Now, I'm assuming if you're listening right now, you might want to have your own product. It's definitely great to be able to say, hey, I created this. This is mine. Plus, as an affiliate marketer, you only make a percentage of the commissions. Well, with your own personal product, you make 100% of the commissions, right? So here's just some strategies to help you figure out what might, just some brainstorming things, what might help you be able to come up with some ideas, all right? So the first thing is just kind of make a list. What are your strengths? The reality is, what are your strengths? Are you really good at writing? Are you really good at being visual? Are you good at videos? Are you good at writing? Are you good at talking? Because that's really going to kind of determine how you want your product to be laid out. If you absolutely, hate writing any type of text, well, you're not going to be writing an ebook, all right? You might be doing a podcast or a video series instead. So write out your strengths. And then on another sheet or line, write out your passions. What do you really like? It may not have anything to do with the industry that you're in, but you can gain some perspective from that. What are your passions? Do you like to paint? Do you like to garden? Do you love to play with kids? Do you like to just be outside? Being aware of those and looking at them from a different perspective will give you some guidance on how to start creating your product and where you might want to go to create that, okay? Where do you have a knowledge skill set that is above others? Now, this is really your time to brag about yourself to yourself. Right? A lot of times we'll talk ourselves down, but we want to talk ourselves up here. What knowledge or skill set do you have that you would say is above others? Be aware of what that is. If you have a hard time with that, go and ask somebody. What would they say about you? You definitely want to have this knowledge of where do you separate yourself from others? What are you good at? Right? And then finally, taking that information will definitely help you figure out how to create the product. But sometimes the question is still, well, what should I create? Where do I see the need? And that's where you need to go look into your marketplace. Where you are right now, where your skill sets lies, where your passion lies. Where is there a need in your marketplace? Where is it something that people are asking the same questions? If people are always asking the same questions, then there's a need for something to answer those questions before they have to come up and ask them, right? So where can you fill in that need that also somehow lies in your strength and you have knowledge and passion? When you find the triple threat right there of where they all come together, you have an amazing product idea that you're going to be passionate about, that the marketplace needs, and you can go out there and sell it very well. Now, the next question comes into like, well, how do you actually produce this information easily? It used to be very daunting and hard to be out there and create an actual product. Well, that's not the case these days. Video or audio series are very easy to put together. With all the software and the different apps that they have on the phones these days, you can create stuff just relatively very easily. So how do you want to do it? Do you want to be on video? Should it be a face video to the people? Should it be a screen video like I'm doing right now? Is it going to be more of an audio series where they're maybe meditating or listening to guided stuff as they're, relaxing? Or is it maybe some information that is an audio series because you want them to be able to be moving around while they're listening to it? Something like that. Is it going to be text? Is it going to be in an ebook? Would you rather do it that way? Is it going to be on a live webinar or series of weekly classes? Okay? How do you want it to go? How do you want it to flow? You need to figure out those answers. Okay? Now, I want to give you a case study right now. This kind of takes in everything that I talked about, but it spins it a little bit differently. And this is a case study of mine personally, okay? The reason I want to share it with you is because this product that I created really came out of a need that I saw, and I wanted to get it done as fast as possible, and I wanted to make money while I was doing it. Like, that was my actual effort of like, okay, so obviously people want this information, so I had the need. I don't really want to feel like creating a big product right now, but it would be nice to have the money to do it. Why don't I make money while I make the product? That was my legit thought process, okay? Let me share with you how this actually happened. All right, so this case study right here is that I knew that people wanted to know how I was marketing on Craigslist. I was selling a $5,000 product and I was doing it through Craigslist, which is what brought upon all of those questions. So there was definitely the need, like I just talked about, right? So, and I was actually at this live event where they just kept coming up to me and asking me these questions. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let me figure this out. So I went outside for an hour and I mapped out the entire process of how I actually did it, what I went through, what I did, just the actual traffic generation, okay? So I batched that up into bullet points because this is the thought process when you're trying to do something quick and you want to get it out there, you start small and make it bigger, right? That's what we were talking about. So I batched it up into bullet points for the marketing messages and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do a live webinar. That was the strategy that I chose for right here. I was like, I'll just do this down here. I'll do a live webinar and we'll go from there. So here's the thing. I knew this information was great, it was working, people wanted to know about it, but I really didn't want to do a lot of work to get this product out. It was not something where I set out and said, oh, I want to do this big product. It was something that kind of came about. I saw the need, I figured it would make some money, and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. So I decided to use a simple launch formula strategy, right? So the whole launch product or launch method that I explained on part 2 yesterday is exactly what I decided to do. But I was just going to do a regular old webinar. And so I said, but this information is just too good. Like, I knew I was going to turn it into a product and I was going to sell it. So I said, here's the deal. This was in my marketing message. I'm going to do a webinar, but it's not free. It's paid. It's $37. All right. But I did tell them up front. I did exactly what I shared with you earlier. I told them it would be repurposed and it would be sold for a lot more. And they get to come along with me, get a huge price discount on it, and just know that they'll be part of the deal. All right. So I taught the material in 2 hours. I mapped it out and I said, you know what, this is going to be a 2-hour webinar. The people that were on that live webinar, they absolutely loved the value. I mean, it was a $37 product. That's all I paid was $37 to be on this. So what did it do? I just blew their expectations away. They didn't expect how good this was going to be, but I knew it was because I knew I was going to turn this into a product I was going to sell for a couple $100s. So I wanted it to be good and I didn't want to do it again. That was the kicker. Like, I just wanted to maximize my time. And I remember, I'm like, these people have no idea what they're about to see. So what did it do? I got screenshots galore from people that were on this live webinar. I got instant testimonials right here. I didn't even have to ask for them. They were just throwing them in there because they didn't expect to have all of this come out there. So here's the deal. I made the money on the live webinar. I took the next week, packaged that thing up. I took those 2-hour things, I chopped them up into 20-minute little segments. I then used what we were talking about before with the irresistible offer, right? I put some bonuses in there. I raised the price up to $197. The thing sold like crazy. All right, so coming up with your own product, it doesn't have to be that hard. All right, is that making sense? You guys see that? I mean, it's a good case study right there. So now here's the deal. Once you have this product creation, then you need to be able to go out and sell it, right? So we're going to shift gears right now into sales because you've got an idea, you've got a product, and then this works for anything. It doesn't have to be your own perfect product or your own product. It could be an affiliate product, anything that you're selling, right? But now we want to shift into sales because part of the triple threat was product creation, but I definitely wanted to talk about sales because there's a lot of ways that you can sell things, but I want to talk about the fast way. And this is something that I see a lot of people doing different ways. They're using different methods to try to sell, and I want to speak to the fast way right here. Once you have a product, you need people to see it, right? You got to be able to go out there, and that means that you have marketing and lead generation. You have to. I mean, that you're a business owner, you've got something to sell, you got to do some advertising, you got to do some marketing, you got to get some leads. You're using the internet, that's the best way to be able to follow back up with them. Now, organic marketing is absolutely great. It gives you the long-term virtual real estate, and that works for you for years. And when I say organic, I basically mean like you've got your own real estate, like a blog or your own platform like your YouTube channel or something like that, where it's organically being seen, people are sharing it, people are coming on there. That is your virtual real estate. Hopefully, you have one of those, you own it, and it's working for you, right? The deal is, though, it's harder to track that type of traffic. It's harder to know exactly where people are coming from, what their mindset is, how to keep them engaged, and it's definitely a little bit of a slower route. It's good. You definitely want to have it because it's going to pay for you in the future. But in addition to having that, you definitely want to be doing paid ads so that way you can get the influx of sales coming in faster. You can track things a little bit easier. You have more control over the selling process. All right. And so that's what I want to share with you right now. The easiest way right now and the best way to be making sales, it's really coming through social media pay-per-click these days. I mean, yes, Google and Bing and search marketing is still very valid depending on what you're selling, but to be able to have social proof and to be able to niche target the way that you can on these social media platforms now, it's almost unheard of, even just like 2 years ago, okay? So the three that I want to talk about right now, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. These are the three right here that all have paid ads, paid advertising. So I'm not talking about going onto Facebook and putting a post and having people comment on them or going on Instagram and doing that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about their actual paid platforms where you are paying them to put your ad in front of specific people that you determined with their niche marketing right here to be able to see your marketing message. All right? This is the fast way to do it, and I want to share with you pretty much the easiest way that this is working right now, and this is using Facebook ads as an example, okay? So you have a Facebook fan page, right? You've got your page where ads are coming from, and again, I'm not really talking organically. Maybe you've got thousands of likes on there, maybe you only have 20 likes on there. For this model, it doesn't actually matter that much, all right? But you're going to go out onto Facebook and you're going to do some advertising. Now, obviously, you need to learn how to do that, all right? That's not what this course is or this training is about right now. I definitely have something I can share with you about later on about how to actually do Facebook ads. There's many different ways. You can actually we can have hours of conversations on that. But the method of advertising on Facebook doesn't matter which way that you're doing it. But then you're sending them not directly to your buy now link, not directly to a capture page. Yes, it works sometimes, but it works better because they're coming from a social platform where they're being very social, right? They don't go onto Facebook to say, oh, what can I buy today? No, they're in there interacting with their friends, looking at pictures, looking at videos, and then they see something that comes across their feed because you've determined that it's going to pop up there, and you catch their eye, and they're interested, so they click over. They're interested socially, so you want to send them some type of content that's going to engage them a little bit, give them what they want, and then, since you've intrigued them so much about what you have to offer them, click over, and then that can bring them to either a webinar registration, which works really well, or a sales page. Obviously, there's going to be, or even a capture page. Sorry, you want to put a capture page in front because obviously you want to generate the lead there. But here's the thing. In the old days, we would have never said, oh, go from an ad straight to a piece of content. Like, no, it was always grab the lead, grab the lead, grab the lead, right? And yes, you still want to grab the lead, but here's the thing. Facebook and Instagram, they have Instagram's owned by Facebook, so it kind of goes together. If you want to market on Instagram, you go into the Facebook ad platform, but they do a retargeting pixel, which is really, really cool. And it sounds like it's hard, but it's not. It's this tiny little piece of code that you put into your website that Facebook gives you. And now you can retarget these people. It helps you build an audience of everybody that has seen this site. You can go back and just send them ads. Hey, by the way, did you forget you didn't register for the webinar? And, or hey, by the way, did you forget about this deal? Did life get in the way? What a cool way to be able to go out there and get your message in front of people, pay a few bucks to get the lead, and then be able to have full control over how you follow up with them in the process through your email advertising, through the videos that you share with them, all that stuff, right? Now, the one thing that I want to share with you that I see way too often, and I don't see it being taught enough, is the fact that different bridge pages, and that's basically what this would be considered right here, is a bridge page. It's going to go from an ad right to the call to action, either register, opt-in, buy. You want to have a bridge page, all right? Too many people have the exact same type of bridge page on every single platform, and you don't want to do that. You really want to keep it as congruent as possible so that if it is coming from Facebook, you're referencing to them that they're coming from Facebook. If they came from Instagram, let them know, hey, thanks for checking out my picture on Instagram, and now we're going to blah, blah, blah. If they came over from Twitter, hey, I love that you were checking out my feed, and, you want to be very native to the platform that it came from, and you want people to know and feel comfortable that you know where they just came from, right? They want to feel like you know them. They want to feel like you understand what they're doing, and being able to bridge them from where they just came from. Maybe even have a different looking page, like, right, if it's coming from Twitter, maybe even have the picture of the bird on there. Hey, Twitter friend, thanks for coming over here. Same thing with Facebook. Maybe you've got the Facebook like on there. Whatever you can do to bridge the gap, you want to do. That small little effort right there will have a dramatic effect on how far people go through your funnel. And yes, it does take a little bit more effort to be able to customize these, maybe 3 pages though. So the reward is usually worth the effort. And that's something that I want you guys to be aware of, okay? All right. So then, I was touching on that. I was touching on the fact that we want to do sales. We want to do them fast way. This right here is a 7-figure model. You add organic traffic into that at the same time. If you've got any type of podcast or video marketing that you're doing at the same time as this, that's just how it can be all exponentially grown. Now, once you've got people that are coming through your funnels, they're seeing what you're doing, they're interested, we got to close them. We got to make that actual sale, right? Because likes are wonderful, page views are wonderful, conversion rates are wonderful, but if they're not actually clicking that buy now button and you're making money, you don't have a business, right? Your business needs to be making money. And so we want to talk about the close a little bit, or I want to talk about the close a little bit, because most of the time, if you're looking at marketing trainings, you hear so much about the marketing per se, not that much about the closing. And the closing can definitely make or break the deal. All right. And so one of the things that I've always taught is, if you're a really great marketer, you don't have to close. You've been closing the entire time. You've been overcoming every objection. You've filled out your entire funnel so that at the end of the day, when they finally get to that buy now button, you've overcome everything. They're ready to buy. If you're a good marketer, yes, you absolutely can do that. It's very possible to be able to do something like that. But here's the deal, and here's where the psychology comes into play. Remember when I told you about that Craigslist where I was selling a $5,000 package from Craigslist? You think about the people that are on Craigslist, right? very different type of mentality, different type of person that's kind of hanging out on Craigslist that might be hanging out on LinkedIn, right? The messages, the sales messages, the videos, they're different. The close was different. So you need to be able to kind of think about where your people are coming from and act accordingly. And so with the Craigslist people, it was absolutely important that I did a great job marketing in the funnel, but I did get on the phone with them. The people that were coming from a different things, I did Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Some of those, I didn't get on the phone. I did a great job with the marketing and made those sales without ever needing to get on the phone. All right. But let's just say that you're not this amazing marketing ninja where you have all these psychological skills and NLP and all this stuff that you know and understand, and you want to get on the phone and talk to people. I absolutely recommend that you do that. And especially if you're selling something that is high ticket, maybe $500, well, $500 can definitely buy without being on the phone, but $2,000 and higher, really you want to be on the phone selling them maybe to an application, get them on the phone, make that sale. It's just easier. Unless you have a really well presented professional presentation that's really been tested to overcome the objections, I'd say if it's about $1,000 or over, you kind of want to get on the phone. You're going to have the best sales possible that way. But here's the thing. Even if you're selling something for $47, it's always nice to be able to learn how to speak with people and have the posture and what to say so that you feel comfortable. All right, so we're going to talk about that for a second right here. When you get on the phone, you got to have posture. You got to know what to say. You got to know what to say to your prospects to really help close the deal. All right, and I really want to make sure that when we're talking about closing, you understand that this is not used car sales mentality where you're just going for the sale. You're closing out of integrity. You're closing because they're interested in what you have. They wouldn't be there. You wouldn't be in that position with them to talk to them if they weren't interested and have the problem that you're trying to solve. So just make sure that you understand that you're helping them make a decision, right? To be able to better their life because you're helping solve a problem, which also means you need to believe in the product that you're selling and wholeheartedly believe that it's going to help better their life, okay? So when the conversation is over, and a lot of times people kind of get weary about this, especially if you're new, but when that phone conversation is over, there should be a specific next step that both parties know exactly what it is. You guys should be on the exact same page, all right? If they said yes, and you got the payment information, you told them exactly what to do next, all right? If they need to maybe go back and look at something and your call to action is you go review some materials and you schedule the next session to chat. You don't leave it unknown ever and say, okay, so I'll get back a hold of you with questions, or if they tell you, hey, that sounds great, I'll look at this and then I'll call you back. 95% of the time, they're not going to. All right, they're either being nice just to get off the phone with you, or life gets in the way. They didn't care that much about it, and maybe they really did want to, but other things came in the way. It just goes from there. You always want to make sure that you set the schedule up, that they know that there's going to be a next step, that you're going to contact them again. And here's the thing I want to share with you, one little story. I was on the phone with somebody. This would have been the $1,000 sale. So that's what this was at that point too. So she loved everything, was on the presentation. She called me, or we had a scheduled meeting. I was talking to her. She was all gung-ho, ready to go. She went to go get her wallet. She put the phone down, went to go get her wallet, and when she came back, the connection just started being really, really crazy, really weird, and she's like, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Oh, we were on Skype, that's why. She was over in Africa, and I just remember that. That's why. The Skype starts being all funky, and I couldn't actually get back a hold of her. It'd been like 30 minutes, we were on the phone, and ready to make the sale, she's all excited. Well, what happened, after that, we actually couldn't get Skype to work, I think it was on her end, until the next day. By the next day, she had talked herself out of it, and she was like, nope, this is not what I just can't do it right now. Now's not the right time. And the reality was she was about to buy something really amazing, get a lot of hand-holding, and I really could have helped her be able to do exactly what she wanted to do. And unfortunately, she talked herself out of it because the phone connection went out. So whenever you have the chance, you want to make sure that you're helping them get through that decision and not leaving it open-ended, all right? Now, here's some tips when you're actually on the phone. You are the one that is asking the questions. They are the one that's actually talking. All right? The person who is talking, you want them to be doing that, okay? The reason is that you're leading them into making the decisions for themselves. You don't want to be talking them into a decision. You don't ever want to be convincing them into something. You want them to be able to come to the conclusion that this is definitely what they need on their own, all right? And you want to do that by asking yes questions, right? You're assuming that they're going to say yes when you ask the question. The more that you can get them to say yes, the more likely they are to say yes to the final question of, hey, are you ready to get started right now? Okay? You assume the sale as you talk. Now, how this works is however you want it to believe it works, whether you're putting the intention out into the universe, the fact that it's going to come back because you put that out there, or whether or not that you just have the confidence and the posture that you're assuming that they're going to join, you're giving them the next step, okay? So as you talk, when it gets time for like the actual ask, sometimes people can be doing everything right, and then it's kind of like, are you ready to get started? Does this sound good? Like, you don't want to hesitate that. You want to just let them know, okay, so when you're ready to get started, the next step is going to be, you just let them know. Say, okay, this sounds great. So the first thing we're going to do after you pay is this, this, and this. You just roll right in and assume that they're going to be buying because what you've set up is exactly what they need. Okay, it works very well, and it just comes with posture. All right, practice it if you need to. And in fact, if you're not used to being on the phone, I highly suggest that you do practice being on the phone. Being an internet marketer doesn't mean that you don't have to get on the phone. I will tell you, every top earner makes sales on the phone, and they always have, even if they say they haven't. Okay, they may not like it, but they definitely have. All right, now here's one thing I want you to be aware of. The person that you're speaking with must have watched the full presentation before talking to you. Please make sure that that happens and that you've put things in place that the person has watched the information before you get on the phone. One of the benefits of being an internet marketer and building your business online or leveraging the internet, even if you are working offline, is that you can create amazing presentations that sell way better than you're ever going to be able to do on the phone, and they should do the selling. You don't want to be saying the same information over and over. So if someone does get on and they haven't actually watched it, they need to go back and watch it. And all it does, don't be scared to get off the phone with them. That's your posture. You don't have time to be able to explain everything for them to do something they didn't do, right? So if they haven't watched it, ask them when they can watch it today. You finally get on the phone and they're like, oh, no, I didn't. Okay, really? Well, that's unfortunate. Life does happen. I get it. So when can you watch it today? Right? Not like, when do you think you'll have time to watch that? No, no, no. When can you watch it today? If they're still pushing you off, it's not meant to be. All right? If they were really interested, they would find the time and they would do it. All right? So when they ever say you get off the phone, but you got to make sure that you schedule the next meeting. Okay, so you said you can watch it today at 6 o'clock. Awesome. So I'll assume that you've watched that. It's an hour presentation. I actually have time at 7:30 tonight. I will call you then. Does that sound good? Or, all right, that gives you enough time. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock I have open. I will call you then. That gives you plenty of time. All right? Don't go over information on the phone. They need to watch the presentation. And don't be scared to say that. That's totally fine. Remember, you're the one that can help them. So just, you got to believe in your product and be able to move forward with it. Okay. So here's some other suggestions while you are actually talking on the phone to help you be able to close this a little bit more. So as they're talking, write down what they're saying. Just kind of little, not obviously word for word, but just write down little things that they say. So that way when you kind of get to the end of the call, you can reinforce what some of the things were that they said, because it was them that said it, not you. Remember, you want them to be selling themselves. It's not you selling them. All right. So if they're doing the talking, you're writing it down, you're listening. Try not to be thinking about the next thing that you're going to say. You're listening to them. And then one of the good ways to just really go through that end is tell them that, you know what, this all looks good. I think we have a perfect fit. What you're looking for is exactly what I have. What I'm looking for is exactly what you need. So the next step will be tell them exactly what to do. Okay? This lets them know what to expect and that you're ready to go right now. All right? So does that sound good to you? Yes, it sounds great. Okay, awesome. So get your payment information. Get that from them over the phone or walk them through paying on the website. All right? Don't get off the phone. Stay on the phone until the sale is actually complete. Like I said, it's kind of interesting how people can talk themselves out of something when they're in the moment. And it doesn't mean that you're trying to manipulate them at all. It means that they really do want that change. And sometimes change is hard, and sometimes you have to help them make that decision. And they will be so thankful for you later for helping them make that decision. And unfortunately, if you're too nervous to ask or you're too scared to ask for the money, and then they get off the phone and they go back to their regular old life, back into their rut, they never got the opportunity to change their life, right? No matter what you're selling, you're helping solve a problem. If you're not, then you should have some issues about, manipulation, but we want to be coming from integrity and we want to be helping each other, okay? Things will get in the way. It will be easy for them to talk themselves out of the purchase, okay? Making changes in life can be hard. And again, just remember, you're helping them make that decision. You're not pressuring them into making a decision. If you feel like you're using sales tactics, then that's not the reality of what you want to be doing, because they're going to resent it. If they actually bought something because they felt pressure, they didn't want to say no, they are going to resent that purchase. Buyer's remorse will come in. And honestly, buyer's remorse only happens when they're feel pressure into a sale. And that's absolutely not what you want. You want to make sure that it's mutual agreement. You're ready to help them. They're ready to get helped. They want that problem solved and they're excited. They should be happy to give you that money at the end of the call. And you should be happy because now you're going to help them, right? Okay. Once we're there, we got our product created, we've made some sales on the phone, we're ready to go. Doing all of this has a lot of steps to put in place, right? So the third part of today's is you want to make sure that you're setting things up to make it fun. Business should be fun. Yes, it is work. Yes, it doesn't come that easy. It can sometimes be complicated or frustrating, but you want to also make sure it's fun, okay? When you're doing tasks that are out of your comfort zone, which as you're building a business, you're definitely out of your comfort zone, you want to make sure that you put in place celebration zones. All right. This is definitely something, speaking from experience of how many times I've been told I don't celebrate my wins enough, is certainly something why I finally realized it really is important. And you know what? It just makes things a lot more fun. So when you accomplish the small things, and I mean the small things, like you finally got one lead, your first lead ever, that is a big deal because that means more can come, right? You finally got a website up. That's a big deal. You got to have a place for people to go to. You made your first phone call to a lead. Doesn't even matter if you didn't make a sale. You made your first phone call, right? Congratulate yourself on the small things, or maybe even have others congratulate you as well. As you set out to do something, put in place little accountabilities that will help you realize your benefits and your positives, because unfortunately, human nature, we are always wired to look at our negatives and they overshadow any of the positives, right? When you're dealing with kids, I was an elementary teacher for a while, and I did a lot with child psychology, which is why I think I absolutely love all of this human psychology these days. But it doesn't matter. Like, you could have 10 positives that you gave a child in one day. You give them that one negative, it's going to erase all of the positives that you gave them, and they're going to focus on that. Right? We don't really outgrow that very well. So always make sure that you are focusing on the positives with your self-talk and what you're doing. All right? Small wins along the way will equal out to big wins, especially when you have a plan that follows that rewards milestone. All right? So think about what your goal is right now. What is your next 30-day or 60-day goal? If you don't have one, you probably should. Breaking things out into 30 days is very, very beneficial to your business. And along those 30 days, what are some of the things that need to happen to accomplish that goal, right? We're not talking about goal setting right now, but you definitely want to be able to do that. Where can you put along little celebration marks, right? And make yourself celebrate. Whether it's literally stopping for 30 minutes and just chilling and watching your favorite episode of whatever it is that's fun, or maybe watching some, funny YouTube videos. If that's the celebration, totally fine. Whether it's going out at night at the end of the week because you did a great job, well, great. Whether you put it out onto Facebook and said, hey, I actually did this and I'm super proud of myself, and getting the feedback from others, that's what you do, right? Set things up. The other thing that you can do is if you kind of feel like you need some extra help to achieve some of these things, set up accountability so that you have the opportunity to tell somebody that you've reached your goal. Not for the punishment of like, oh my gosh, I have to do this because, I got to tell so-and-so that I'm going to get done. I got to keep myself accountable. Sure, that's always great. But the real point is to make sure that once you've achieved that goal, they get to celebrate with you. It's always more fun to celebrate with others than just by yourself, okay? So what you need to do is have a simple step-by-step plan in place that's going to get you to the end of the goal and have built-in celebration points along the way. That is your to-do from listening to this right here. Have celebration points along the way, okay? Now, if any of this sounds great, but you're not really sure how to actually do some of the things that you want to do, that's kind of what I want to share with you right now. Because one of the new trainings that I am really starting to love even more as I see it evolve is what's called the Invisible Empire from Mark Hoverson. I've talked about this the last two trainings just a little bit, but here's what I haven't talked about at all, and it goes right along with this making it fun. So one of the things that I've said is really important to be able to have that roadmap, to be able to pull you through and get away that frustration and overwhelm so that you have these little checkpoints and you have these celebration wins. And if you're not sure of what they are, why don't you have someone else who's been through the process before share with you what would be some great checkpoints, what would be some great step-by-step plan to be able to put it in place, okay? And that's what he's doing inside the Invisible Empire. Now, no matter what you're doing, you can have an offline business right now. You could have an internet marketing business, a network marketing business. You could be an affiliate marketer. The really cool part about it is that it doesn't matter what you're selling because direct response and human marketing psychology, it's all the same. That you're just pointing people into different directions, solving different needs, right? So the Invisible Empire itself, yeah, it's got many, many upper level marketing psychology trainings. And I've talked a little bit about those on the other training, right? But it also has this invisible infrastructure. And I really took a look at it yesterday because I wanted to see what it was built up of. I know what it was going to becoming. I know what the philosophy was, but I wanted to see what they were creating. And I love it. I really do. I don't promote or talk about anything that I don't think is going to be beneficial to somebody. I don't like systems. I don't like turnkey because that doesn't brand yourself. You want to be your own leader, your own business owner. You want to step out above the rest. And how do you do that if you're in just a system or a turnkey? Okay? So what this is doing is, like I said, it's exactly what I would prefer and what I teach all of my clients. It's step-by-step marketing online, and I want to say, I call it the real way. I don't call it, oh, market this system. It's not this turnkey push a button. No, it's the real way because you are unique and your marketing should reflect that. Branded personal marketing materials using proven direct response marketing methods, they produce long-term results. Okay? That there's no way around that. Yes, you can try to shortcut it. Yes, you can try to make it sound way better by using all of these different terms. But at the end of the day, no one that is completely successful like you want to be is using those so-called systems. They are branding themselves. They are doing things differently. And we're now actually going in there and showing you how to do it and trying to make it easy. But we also want to make it fun. Right? Mark's a huge believer in gamification reality games. So he took that and he added gamification to the process, turned it into a game. Learning makes things so much more fun. I did that in one of my beta groups that I was telling you about before. One of the beta things that I did was gamification. I wanted to see how much it affected people to add gamification into going through the learning process. And what I saw firsthand was exactly what I kind of thought would happen, but it was amazing to experience it. It was amazing to have people say, I didn't really care too much about this until I realized I could get points for it. And those points actually turned into prizes and recognition, and it stirred something inside me I didn't even know I had, right? That's pretty cool, okay? And so this new Invisible Empire holds this what's called the Invisible Infrastructure game, and it's extremely in-depth. As well as all the other, trainings that I've mentioned today. They all come in there. But the Invisible Infrastructure is 37 steps of what you would need to do to build your invisible empire, your branded marketing message online. So if you've ever wondered, how do I actually do this? that is what's inside here, this infrastructure, the 37 steps with the trainings that go along on how to do it. And that's really the full-blown potential of all of these different trainings on the how-to, okay? So the full training on product creation, like I was mentioning earlier, if you want the entire like how-to full product creation training, that's inside there. The closing scripts for what I was talking about on the phone, there's 21 closing scripts on exactly what to say. I started using 3 of them in my business, and that's when I started, my phone sales exploded. I don't personally even like being on the phone. I love marketing so that I don't have to be on the phone, but I will get on the phone if I need to. These 21 scripts right here finally gave me the confidence to really know what to say and when to say it. And that's, again, using those is when my phone skills went up, and so many others too. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I don't talk about anything if I don't experience it through myself or through the people that I coach. And remember this stuff that I was talking about up here, the Facebook ads, how you would do that, how you build them out to the funnels and stuff? That's actually in here too. So there's complete trainings on Facebook ads and Instagram marketing. All right, so it really is, that's like why I wanted to bring it up, because everything that I've talked about in the last training blitz here, it's all inside Invisible Empire. So I want to share with you like why it's in there, what it's in there, because if you want to crush it online in business, and you want to be able to brand yourself and have the actual tools to do it. And I do kind of consider this the ninja sauce. It's not, yes, the how-to is in there, and that's so important, but it's the upper level marketing psychology that you have to understand is what separates you from so many other marketers out there. And let's face it, these days you got to separate yourself. You got to learn what your audience is thinking, so that you can pull them along and get them out of their zone and into what you're trying to help them with, okay? So I have the Invisible Empire is up. Like, this is legit. This is it right here. There's 37 steps of what you need to do to be able to market online. And this is just, like I said, it's a game. So I went in here just, I think it was this morning, and I was like, okay, so what are they talking about in this one right here? Creating the asset, the city of the empire. And when I clicked on it, it's like, well, you can't go to here because you can't skip around. This is legit. Like, it's progressive. It builds upon itself. So you need to be able to finish all of these things, and you get rewarded with different things. It's really cool. And there's 37 levels that start to open up. And the cool part about it is that when it's time to start marketing, when it's time to start learning these strategies, it takes you over to all of the actual trainings that are inside of here. And while that pulls up, this is what's inside here. Okay? So the information blueprint, which sells for $297, it's got the whole entire product creation. It tells you exactly how to create your own product. Okay? The 21 closing scripts, that's in there. The Facebook Mastery sells literally right now for $497. How to do story ads on Facebook, how to do pay-per-click ads, how to do boost posts, who to target, when to target, how to set up your images, all of that stuff. Pictures for Profits is Instagram. If you want to be able to make money off of Instagram and learn how to do it, it's exactly the strategies that are working right now. And it's selling literally right now for $297, okay? The 37-step infrastructure game, that's what I'm sharing with you right now. The 37 steps of exactly how to do these things in order so that you're fully set up online with honestly, an invisible empire. This is how you do it. The launch formula that we talked about yesterday on part 2 sells for $497. Every step, the templates, all of that stuff's in there. $1 Million Day, which is part of the 8-figure launchpad, that is in there. Leadership branding, I personally bought that for $997. This is what skyrocketed me once I learned how to brand myself and on the internet. Futuristic marketing takes you into some of the ninja strategies, like this. A lot of the how-to stuff of marketing on the internet these days. We've got a live event that's coming up. You get 2 free tickets to that. You've got the welcome box. That's what's over here. And a legit welcome box that's got this amazing journal in it, the hard copy of Pictures to Profit. There's a really nice pen in there. We got a private Facebook community, as well as either Justin or myself gets on the phone with you for our strategy session. I want to know where you are in your business, where this can actually help you, so that we can redirect you into the absolute best place. Maybe as far as the infrastructure game goes, maybe you have 7 of the steps already done. All right, maybe you just need to whiz through that and get started into the next one. All right, we want to be able to help you kind of fast track and get you to exactly where you need to go, because there's a lot of information in here which can cause overwhelm, and that's not what we want. We want to be able to say, okay, this is your goal. We are very big on what is the quickest path to profit. What do you want to do? All right, this is your game plan. This is what's going to share with you how to do it. Let's go do it. Okay, so Empire 5000 will actually be what you can go to right now to be able to grab your copy. Well, no, it's not your copy. You'd be able to get access to all of these trainings that are inside the Invisible Empire right here. And here is where all of this stuff is. That was the Invisible Infrastructure, the 8-figure launch pad. When you click into here, this is where that $1 million day was. Dreamscaping, quantum wealth. These open up your mind to be really, this is what just sets you up. I've been through all of these things. I tell you, this is exactly what brought me into the level that I was able to play big with. All of these trainings right here. Mark was my mentor in the beginning. I learned a lot from him. The fact that I get to promote these and sell them, share them with you, makes me very excited, because I know the amount of growth that you're going to have from going through these, okay? The stuff that I've taught you on these different webinars right here almost fails in comparison to what you're going to be able to go through. So that is how highly I speak of that, all right? So your call to action right now, Empire 5000. Get over there, get the information, jump inside here. We will get on the phone. We will speak with you. You will be able to join the rest of the club that is over hanging out inside that Facebook group with a lot of value. There's some weekly trainings that you get interacted with, so you can get some more training as you go. It's a really great place, no matter what it is that you are promoting, that you will be able to jump into and take your business to new heights. All right? So thanks so much for hanging out on this webinar right here. Thanks so much for listening. I got a lot more trainings coming up, so I look forward to hearing and seeing and speaking with you in the future. Empire 5000, go there right now. You'll be able to jump in if you haven't already, and we will see you on the inside, being able to help you build your business. All right, guys, take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.